Look, I love Wolverine, okay? Everybody loves Wolverine. One of the all-time greats, right? Can we please, for the love of beep God, just not put him into one singular beep in X-Men film, please? Beep. So per brand new reports, Wolverine will be a member of the X-Men team in the X-Men reboot. Can we go one goddamn iteration of the X-Men where we put the focus on the beep X-Men? For example, let me show you the original X-Men team. Angel, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast. You know how many times we've gotten this team on film without anybody else being shoehorned in like Wolverine? Never. Not once. It's gonna be 30 years of Foxmen existing, and we always have to have a different team and or Wolverine shoved in there. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Wolverine. Great character. One of the greatest Marvel characters of all time. I could even argue one of the top 10 greatest comic book characters ever invented, bar none. I will argue that. But can we please, for the fucking love of everything that fucking exists in Marvel fucking comics under the fucking X-Men banner, for once, just not shoehorn Wolverine into it and let the X-Men shine? Please, what is so hard about this? The X-Men endured without Wolverine for tons of runs, for different iterations. They existed before he joined the team. They existed after he leaves the team. The X-Men can exist by themselves. The last thing we need is the X-Men reboot to automatically jump into the love triangle between Jean and Cyclops, who are now reportedly the main characters, and now you just toss Wolverine in there before we even know what the relationship is even about. Please! Now I get it, the Wolverine fanboys are coming for me because, oh, Wolverine, he's the be-all, end-all of everything. How about this? How about you give other concepts a try? How about that? Expand your mind. How about other members? How about we don't get Wolverine on the core X-Men team? How about we get anybody else? Anybody. Somebody we've never had on the team, in live action or whatever. Add in new members. Play around with it. We know Wolverine sells. Why do we need him? Why can't he be a stinger at the end of the first film or show up at the end of the second film while he gets his own franchise? We know he can command box office. It's Wolverine. We know he's a billion-dollar franchise. You know who isn't? Who deserves to stand on their own and not be overshadowed? Yeah, the X-Men. The X-Men deserve that. We couldn't even have that with the First Class trilogy that Matthew Vaughn wanted to make, because after First Class, they were like, bring the diddler back. He's going to bring back Wolverine and shoehorn him into all these films. That's exactly what we had to get. And then we had to focus on a bunch of films like Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, which were just straight up garbage. And then people point at those and say, well, those are bad because they focused on the original X-Men. There's no Wolverine. No, those are bad because Fox didn't give a beep about what they were doing and just turning out those garbage films. First Class features Wolverine for what? 3 seconds? Arguably the best X-Men film we've gotten? So don't tell me X-Men films can't work without Wolverine, because they can. The problem is they're just looking at the everyday person who sits there and goes, but Wolverine's always been a member of the team. I've seen the X-Men films. And catering to them. Get Wolverine out of the X-Men for beep's sake. Save him for down the road. Build him up on his own. Let us enjoy these separate franchises until they merge. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.